to this huge rumor. This is something that's really interesting. And I think this says a lot about Josh Jacobs and his future for this team. And we're going to get into this right now, which is the fact that Josh McDaniels, we know he did that little interview off to the side with Vic Tafur of The Athletic, and they asked him about Josh Jacobs, and he was being very friendly. But what did he say? He said, "Oh, I told him that we need to fix the fumbles. Ha ha ha. Yeah, but we'll work together and see what happens and build that relationship. Get to know each other. The football stuff comes later. No, you know what? Get to know each other. All this little emotional stuff. No, it's all about football, and that's all that matters. There's no getting to know each other. We don't need to hear about our feelings in order to play football together.
If anything, it's actually a liability to get to know each other.
That's why it's a BS PR statement he's making. Yeah. When he says that, well, we're just getting to know each other rather than it's all about football. Yeah, it's all about football. So I thought that was a little weird. He kind of threw some shade, and then they were talking about the franchise tag to Jacobs. What's his future going to be? We know that we restructured Kenyon Drake's deal. Kenyon Drake was set to make $9 million this year. We restructured it. It is appearing like Kenyon Drake is here to stay this year and may even be here next year with the way that we restructured his contract. At least we'll be paying off part of it next year as well. So Kenyon Drake is looking to be in our future. Josh Jacobs, this is his last year. We have until May 2nd to exercise a 5th-year option on Jonathan Abram, on Cleveland Farrell, on Josh Jacobs. We've seen of the 2019 draft class, Max Crosby got his deal. Hunter Renfrow is going to be expecting his deal as well. Josh Jacobs, I'm not really sure he's going to get a deal, and especially news like this. When you have news like this, we talked to James White. This is according to Jeremy Fowler. He talked to James White, running back of the Patriots, who has just re-signed with the Patriots. He's a former Patriot. We talked to James White, who said Raiders and Patriots showed the most interest. The Raiders showed interest the most, according to James White, in James White. The Raiders showed the most interest. Josh McDaniels trying to get one of his former running backs. And this is when we already restructured Drake. Drake's here to stay. Mm-hmm. And we have yet to exercise a 5th-year option on Josh Jacobs. We have to do that by May 2nd. So he talked to James White. James White said, New England wanted me back, so it is what it is. That's all that matters. That's why I went back and stayed. But I think this meant something, man. Why are you talking to James White? You can tell me, we need a good pass protector. Kenyon Drake's supposed to be a 3rd-down back. He's supposed to be a pass protector as well. And, Jacobs should be able to fill that role if he wants to be a highly paid back, if he wants to have that 5th-year option exercise and be one of the highest paid backs in the NFL. You got to be able to do it all. You got to block, you got to run, you got to catch, you got to do it all, right? The fact that we're inquiring to James White tells me we're probably not going to exercise Jacobs' 5th-year option. And unless we trade Jacobs, this is probably his last year with the team. That's what this tells me, because why else are you hitting people up? James White ended up making close to $3 million. That's a good amount of cap space. That's a decent amount for a running back. So clearly we're looking to make a change at running back. Keeping Drake, restructured his deal. Jacobs, no 5th-year option in place, and then we're talking to James White. I don't know about you guys, Raider Nation, but I personally think this could be the end of Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. We know Josh McDaniels. We know.
Didn't McDaniels make a comment about getting the JJ's fumbles under control or something?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned before I introduced the segment about the fumbles under control.
Sorry, I was distracted.
And also, when you look at New England, they always have a rotation of all these different running backs. James White, Rex Burkhead, Sony Michel was involved too. They never ever re-sign running backs unless they're cheap, like James White in this situation. And they typically have a healthy rotation of 3 dudes, sometimes even 4 guys. So I would be surprised if we pay Jacobs this amount of money this year when we have a rotation of running backs anyways. And I think the fact that we're talking to James White signifies that we are probably going to move on from Josh Jacobs. And we're definitely not going to spend $10 million a year on a running back. That's what Jacobs would cost if we exercise his 5th-year option. I don't think this is what the Raiders want to do. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And hitting Jeremy Fowler up, or hitting up James White as reported by Jeremy Fowler just further proves that point, in my opinion.